It feels so good to know that I was right about Marvel Rivals being rigged. And in this episode of Shotty's Yap Session, we're going to talk about how it's rigged, why it's rigged, and how you can use the system to win more. Now, if you guys are new to these videos, this is a series where I yap about a topic, and you guys can turn me on in the background while you do something else, or if you really want to, you can watch the mid-gameplay. Let's get right into it. All right, so first of all, before we get started, I have a huge announcement that I'm going to tell you guys about at the end of the video, so if you're interested, make sure you stick around. But in my past videos, I've talked about losers queue, winners queue, and I even mentioned, in my eyes, it makes sense for a company to set up ranked and matchmaking in a way that will make them more money or in a way that'll make people keep playing. So I told you guys from my experience, obviously it's just my experience and one other person that I used to play with, or I still play with, the way we would play ranked is we would go until we lose, or until we lose like 2 in a row. If we lose 2 in a row, we get off for the day. We go play Minecraft. Usually Minecraft is the option, you know, but we would just stop and we would be done for the day after 2 losses. We would always end on a loss or try to. And I told you guys, do the same thing. If you lose 2 in a row, or if you just lose after a good win streak, get off, do something else. And of course I got tons of comments saying, well, that's stupid. What are you talking about? Oh, if I did that, I would never play, blah, 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 blah. And a decent amount of the comments I agreed with. You know, it's like, you guys are right for some of it. If you never played past like 2 losses, you'd never play the game. And I agreed to a certain extent. Sometimes I feel like that's the player's fault, though. It's a lot of the time, if you're losing a ton, to a certain extent, I have to believe, what did I do wrong? You know what I mean? But a few people have done research, and I'm going to link you guys the video in the description so you guys can go show him some love. But this guy made a video on how Marvel Rivals is rigged, and it's all set up for retention. And in the video, he went through, if you guys don't know, NetEase is the company that does Marvel Rivals. NetEase has documents out there about AI learning for matchmaking, using machine learning for matchmaking, and different ways to use matchmaking to improve player retention. And to not bore you guys to death, long story short, every single matchmaking in a video game is set up in a way that most of it isn't random, if you understand what I mean. For example, Smurf Queue. When you get Smurf Queue, it takes your information, it takes how you're playing, it takes everything about you and says, well, this guy probably doesn't belong here, and it'll try to pair you against someone also who doesn't belong there. And that's how Smurf Queue happens. But with Smurf Queue, I would assume to most people it'd be reasonable to say that there'd be other kinds of queues. For example, winners queue and losers queue. Now, to most people that was sacrilege, that was insane, that was blasphemy. But I really believed it was true, because if you guys have ever experienced it, when you lose a lot of games in a row, or like 3 or whatever, some of the games feel like you have spoon-fed, paraplegic chimpanzees on motorcycles playing with you. That's the only way I can explain it to you. You guys know what I'm talking, like, there are people that if you had them slam their head on the keyboard, they would play better. And I've had games like that. Now I learn that not only does Marvel Rivals rig your teammates, it also has a chance to put AI on your team or the enemy team. And I believe this is also in ranked. I know we knew about this for quick play, but I believe this is also true for ranked. And they do it as a way to balance some of the matches. Now, I don't know how far up this goes. I don't know at what rank it stops or if it even happens. That's the part that I can't prove. However, in the other guy's video that you can see, which let me go look up his name 1 second. Okay, their name is Corvi or Corvina or something. Their video, they talked about certain other things with actual proof about it. The publications that they showed were from NetEase or from people that work at NetEase, talking about things like matchmaking or AI matchmaking and all that. And in those documents, it showed that matchmaking is determined by your win patterns, your churn rate, which if you guys don't know what churn rate is, it's how many people get off the game or how likely they are to get off the game and stop playing based on certain things, right? So churn for a video game is people that log off and never come back. That's your churn. And churn rate is, let's say 20% of people get off the game and never play again. They'll take the statistics that caused them or that happened before they got off and never got back on into account when they're setting up matchmaking. Now, they also account for skill gaps, defeat streaks, wait time, queue time, things like that, and much more. So you guys hear all that and then you realize, so they know what win patterns, skill gaps, lose streaks and win streaks that happen that cause you to get off the game and never get back on. So if we were being reasonable, if you showed them that you're getting off the game for a full day after losing a match, it would make sense for them to say, well, they would get back on and play longer when they won 5 in a row, so let's give them more 5 in a row wins. Now, with rigged matchmaking, or with matchmaking for anything, it's only so much that you can do because people are variable, they're unpredictable. So somebody could be a terrible player, but one game they pop off and that'll throw off the algorithm. They might have set it up so that you're supposed to lose the game. You go absolutely insane and you win. And stuff like that is always possible, right? But in general, they do try to give you favored matches. So if they're trying to get you to play more, they may give you more wins. Or they give you games where it's like a 55% chance of you winning and 45 of you losing. While on top of this, now this was, when I heard this is so cool to hear. And I thought about it, I was like, well, I guess it kind of worked on me and my friends. They will put you against people with skins and have you lose or have it favored for them to beat you just to convince you to buy a skin. Do you hear how that's... Bro, that is so cool, first of all, to set up the game so that it's rigged so you will lose against people with skins to make you say, wow, that skin was kind of clean. And they looked really cool destroying me. Yeah, let me buy that. And it's worked on me. For example, the Venom snow skin. I got completely destroyed by a Venom in that skin, and so did my friend. And we both said, yeah, that skin was kind of clean. We might have to cop that. And it works. And it's so cool to see that that's how they do things. And there's actually out there for netties statistics on how many people get off the game and stop playing based on what win rates, what win-loss patterns. For example, there's a decently high churn rate, which player loss rate, if you win too many games in a row, which is funny. And it kind of makes sense, but if you win too many in a row, you won't want to play because like, oh, the game's too easy. Now, if you win hard-fought games or longer-lasting games, you might be more likely to stay because it'll feel like you're actually achieving something or you're actually earning that win. Now, another thing that Corby mentioned was the fact that they compensate smurfing and boosting with hidden MMRs. Now, obviously, everyone knows about hidden MMR, and if you don't, hidden MMR is the skill value or the ranked value that you have that you can't see. Meaning, if I'm insane at the game and I actually deserve to be top 500 or one above all, the game will give me more ELO or whatever it's called, RR or ranked points in the game than someone else because they're trying to push me to that rank. They're trying to push my actual number rank to the hidden rank as fast as possible. So what this game does is they will assign hidden values to people that are getting boosted versus smurfing to even it out and make it balanced. So for example, if you're getting boosted, you'll be assigned, let's say, a -5. If you're smurfing, you'll get assigned a +5. So when you guys play together, it'll even out so you guys don't get as much as you would have playing on your own to compensate for what they call malicious behavior, which is smurfing and boosting. They also call cheating malicious, which is crazy to hear that both of those are in the same category, but that's life, Which I'm curious about how they determine smurfing. Because, for example, when the game first started, technically everyone who ranked top 500 were smurfing because they all had prior experience in Overwatch and this and that. I'm curious how they handle that because sometimes you're not a smurf, you just haven't ranked up through the ranks. That's also why I think there should be placements. I think there's not placements just to keep retention as well, because obviously you'll play more if you have to climb through every rank, and some people, or a lot of people, find achievement in climbing through the ranks. So that's probably why they did it. But I wish there was placements because I hate having to go through every rank, especially when a season resets. That's such a pain. It is what it is. Now, this Yap session isn't going to be as long as the rest just because if you guys know from my other videos, got a lot going on, a lot of stuff with my life. So just trying to put something out right now. But before I end out, the easiest way that I found to abuse it, and I mentioned earlier, I just didn't clearly state that that's my method, play until you lose 2 in a row. That's the best way to abuse the system. Because the system wants to think you're going to quit, you're done playing. So make them want you to stay. Make them force you to stay. Make them give you win rate. Make them give you wins. Make them give you good teammates. Have a good one, everyone. God bless you.